Tennessee finally getting the monkey off their back, get their first win at Ben Hill Griffin in 20 years as the Tennessee Volunteers dominant from start to finish for the first time since 2003. The Tennessee Volunteers have a win in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, 31-11. Josh Heupel getting another big win on the road, something that Tennessee has not done in some time, and they finally get a massive victory. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to SEC Live here at the Voice of College Football. I'm your host, as always, Lucas Hill. Thank you guys so much for being here and joining us as we continue to wrap up on another great weekend of college football. Hey, how about Georgia Tech dropping a massive loss? Pitt getting back into the ACC race. See what they can do down the stretch. They have an opportunity. Now Pitt has an opportunity to make their case to get into the ACC title game. Georgia Tech, down goes their chances at a potential berth in the CFP. Every post-game show is brought to you by our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Go on over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app on your Apple or Android device and use the promo code VOCFBSEC. And when you play your first $5 lineup, you will get $50 instantly in free bets. That's code VOCFBSEC. And when you play your first $5 lineup, you will get $50 instantly in free bets. Must be 21 or older. Not available in all states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is 1-800-GAMBLER. That Tennessee defense came to play, and the rushing attack was even better. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think Florida came out mentally prepared to win a football game. I really don't. That's just my opinion. And to be quite honest with you, they didn't come out with their hair on fire. They looked soft, and they looked just absolutely incredibly bad. They looked really, really bad. So you have a situation in Florida where you are now sitting at 3-7, where now is Lane Kiffin looking at Florida and saying, hey, man, is it really the best job for me? Is it really the best opportunity for me to go forward with my coaching career? Do I take this money from that LSU's offered me? Because, hey, LSU looks like garbage right now. They're up 13-3 against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky. They look like garbage. Like really hot garbage. So, the Lane Kiffin saga had a little bit of a wrinkle thrown into it. Does this game affect the Lane Kiffin future and the Lane train and possibly going to Gainesville? Does that throw a wrinkle in there? We don't know. We really don't know. In my opinion, I would say that you're looking back at your situation, and look, the reports came out about Lane Kiffin and how he was offered like $90 million to take over LSU and give him like $25 million per year or some BS like that. I don't remember all the specific details, but it was something along the lines of that. Do you really think that it's appropriate to be negotiating something like this when Ole Miss is in the midst of a playoff run? No, it's not. The fact that he's encouraging these plane trips there is what gets me. This is ridiculous. This is like some This is, how do I describe it? This is ludicrous. It's ludicrous, guys. There's no way on the face of this earth that this should be happening right now. But this is what we live in right now. And this is college football defined. It's ridiculous, dude. But anyways, guys, that doesn't matter right now. What matters is that Tennessee dominant from start to finish. Joey Aguilar 17 of 22 for 204 and a touchdown. Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas combining for almost 190 yards to go along with 3 total touchdowns. I don't think Florida came out to play. I do not think that they were motivated enough to even care that there was a game being played. They go down 31-0 early in the first half, and it was over with. Tennessee comes out, bam, bam, first 2 quarters, and you end up with 165 yards of total offense to Florida's 1. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, dude. This is ridiculous. Jackson Johnson joining this show. My co-host on SEC Live. What's up, man?
How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Pretty good. The SEC had a pretty decent week. LSU is looking like dog water offensively against Western Kentucky, but other than that, pretty fantastic.
Oh, man. Well, it's no surprise that LSU's been looking like dog water all year.
Did you watch the Tennessee game?
Yeah, and I will say, I'm glad that looks good for Bama, like on the Bama end of things, because it's first time since 2003, the dark ages of the internet, that Tennessee has finally won in Gainesville.
I said this before, Jackson. I don't think that Florida came out ready to play. I don't think they came out mentally prepared to win this football game. I don't think it was there. I mean, you could tell on the majority of the game, the Star Thomas run that went all the way to the 1-yard line on the 3rd drive basically summed up the rest of this football game for me. They quit after the 3rd drive of the football game defensively. That was one of the worst performances that I've seen from Florida in a very long time. And we've seen this quit attitude majority of the season. Kentucky, that's one. And I thought when I talked with a guy, Chris Lee of Southeastern 16 earlier this week on an unreleased video that I've made, which that's my fault. Anyways, I thought that Florida was going to come in knowing that it's a big game, knowing that it's Tennessee, knowing that it's your rival. I thought that you were going to go to Ben Hill Griffin and compete. You obviously didn't do that tonight. Offensively, you looked as anemic as you have been all year. This is your first 5 drives of the game. Punt, turnover on downs, punt, missed field goal. And if you include the first drive of the first half, a punt. Out of those punts, 3 of them were 3-and-outs. That just tells you how bad that Florida's offense has been. You need a true signal caller in there, and you need a true head coach because there's too much talent on that Florida roster for you to be wasting it. When we talk about Jaden Ball, when we talk about DJ Lagway, when we talk about the amount of injuries that they've had, Dallas Wilson's hurt, Vernell Brown is hurt. And did I think that the injury bug played a role? Yes. That should not be an excuse, though, for you to come out and absolutely ish the bed on the first 5 drives of the game.
It was disgusting.
But I'll give Tennessee this. They owned the line of scrimmage. They did. And honestly, That was a Tennessee team that I was wanting to see against Alabama. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot very much. They finally they played arguably their best game as a whole the entire season. You know, I thought they finally got pieces together. I thought they finally looked like a complete roster, something we haven't seen most of the year. Their defense, best game they played all season. Now you got to go to Vanderbilt with an opportunity to potentially knock out Vanderbilt's chances at getting to the CFP. That is going to be an interesting weekend.
Oh, man, that and a bowl victory to get a 10th win for the 2025 season, that would set up a lot of momentum for 2026 for Tennessee. Humongous set of momentum.
Chris Soller says, what talent? Have you not looked at Florida's roster? I would go look at your roster and look at the amount of dudes that you have and go look at the injury report. Then come back and talk to me.
I don't think we've ever seen a Florida team at all ever go 3-9. I mean, I know they went 4-8, but that's the worst they've ever done in their history.
I don't think I've seen a Florida team that has this much talent with this much hype around them fall this horribly. I've seen Florida teams with not as much talent, and they go 5-7, and honestly, I'm not surprised. But for Florida to come into this year, many people, I had them going 8-4 or 9-3. I did not see them to be at this point in the season and go 3-8. Potentially being 3-9 next week. Because
this would be their worst year since 1979, where they were 0-10-1 in the first year of the Charlie Pell era.
And I believe, because, Jackson, I could be very wrong, I think this would be Florida's 4th or 5th losing season since 2017 as well. Before that, they didn't have a losing season for almost 40 years.
You can make that 5.
It is 5. All right, yep. Yep, man. 5 losing seasons since 17. That just shows you how bad the culture has fallen off. Not to mention in that stretch, you've had 3 head coaches that have all gotten fired mid-season.
It's terrible. Terrible.
And most of them, they haven't really been performance-based. I would say McElwain was a betrayal, in my opinion. He had his house up for sale the year before he was getting fired, and he made up all these false accusations about him getting death threats and stuff. And the year after, he was a problem, and then he got fired right before the end of the season. Dan Mullen had a weird relationship with Scott Strickland that ended pretty poorly, because Strickland wanted him to part ways with his defensive coordinator, which I think was Todd Orlando at the time.
Oh, Todd Grantham.
Thank you. And it got so bad to the point where Mullen was just refusing to let go of Grantham that it ended up kind of being a Brian Kelly situation where there was an argument and then Mullen was fired right after the LSU game. Then you have, obviously, the Napier situation where he should have gotten fired last year, but you have a young quarterback, which I think, and you go on a great win streak and you win a bowl game. So that gave you a little bit of leeway. There was no leeway in 2025 when you start off the season in the top 15 and you're expected to be an SEC contender, maybe even a CFP contender.
Oh, there is a bright side to this season, if only there are any for this 2025 Florida team.
If. That's a big if.
Spoiled Texas season. So there's that.
That's your only bright win of the year. And correct me if I'm wrong, they've been on a losing streak after that Texas win. Oh no, they've lost 5 of the last 6.
Yep.
Since the Texas win.
I mean, it's like, and only one because Mississippi State blew it.
So really, this should be a 2-9 team.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And it all started with one guy bringing out the hot Tua on a South Florida guy in week 2 named Brandon Bett.
What?
Yeah, Brandon Bett. You don't remember him spitting on that South Florida guy?
No. Oh, you wait.
Yeah, that's why I call it.
I watched that live.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I remember. Why wouldn't I? Dadgummit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that's why I call it the hot Tua.
That's funny. That's funny. I actually get that now. Wow, well, look at me go. Jackson, how about LSU right now? They look like they look pretty bad. They look worse than bad. They look horrible.
It's not a surprise right there. I mean,
it's 10-13.
Yeah.
LSU looks horrible offensively.
Bad. I figured they'd be leading by at least some kind of double digits. I just didn't think it'd be this bad for LSU.
Dude, I'm telling you, if Western Kentucky finds a way to recover this onside kick, and if they get in the field goal range, I might take my shirt off on air.
Okay.
And if I take my shirt off on air, it's going to be bad.
Well,
but look, I said that Western Kentucky had a chance to cover too.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's see. Onside kick. They're gonna get Ray. Okay, they're huddling up. They're picking up what they're putting down.
Don't spoil it for me, Jackson.
Huh?
Don't spoil it for me, Jackson. Because you might be a little bit ahead of me, to be honest.
Or could be you're ahead of me. Let's see. Okay, nobody has any timeouts that we do.
No. All right.
Well, you're not going to have to take your shirt off tonight, so you're good to go.
That's good. Oh, that was a bad showing, dude. Oh, that was really bad. That was really, really bad. And you got to play Oklahoma next week. Oh, my God. This is going to be a really, really bad showing for LSU next week, bro. They looked horrible. The fact that you need to recover an onside kick to save yourself a potential upset of some sorts, that's
so bad.
This team is really bad.
Really bad. Like, Oklahoma is going to be a nightmare for LSU next Saturday.
Yeah, this offense is so bad. Their red zone efficiency is god-awful. Oh,
and to think everybody got hyped up for LSU after their victory over Clemson.
I got hyped up because I thought that this was going to be an LSU offense that was actually going to get their stuff together, and their defense was absolutely insane. Their defense is absolutely insane. The problem is that you have an offense that has been stuck in the Les Miles era for the last year and a half. It doesn't help either that you don't have an answer at quarterback.
I'm just kind of laughing that I got the last laugh now because it's like Austin. You should have heard Austin. He was like bragging about, oh, well, LSU's gonna be in the netting. It's like, yeah, it's only week 1. It's only week 1. Give it time. What happens? LSU's a disaster this season. And the Gators, complete nightmare season in Gainesville. I mean, the only thing they can really do next week is really go down like men against Florida State and spoil bowl eligibility. That's pretty much it.
They had a 73-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Oh God, dude, this team sucks.
Oh man.
All right. Well, the Lane Kiffin saga obviously continues because now I don't know if you saw the news, Jackson, about how apparently there is a move that is interesting. $90 million offered to Lane Kiffin. So this is what we would get. They are offering an offer of roughly $90 million. They would offer a roster cash worth around $25 million annually. Now, I think that this is going to be distributed between, I think, over the course of the next couple of years. I think that this is, look, the $25 million annually, I think you can get away with that, to be honest with you, because we've seen colleges spend more. LSU spent more last year. But the problem is that you could not develop. If LSU manages to steal Lane Kiffin away, which I'll be shocked if that happens, my thing is how much will this roster evolve offensively in 1 year with him being there? How much improvement will we see? That's what I want to know. And the same goes with Florida. What can you do with a guy like DJ Lagway? Because we're already seeing what Trinidad Chambliss is able to do. That's why I say that it's a better fit if Lane does end up going to Gainesville. So, because he's smart. If he's smart, he knows that the quarterback position is evolving to the point where you have the start of a quarterback. In the past, we saw pro-style pocket passers everywhere. Now it relies on your quarterback being an athletic freak that can scramble outside the pocket and can make big plays.
Well, and think about like Lane Kiffin on whether he leaves Otts for Baton Rouge or Gainesville. Does this tarnish Lane Kiffin's reputation as a whole and make him kind of the most hated man in college football because of it? Or yeah, because like I heard Thom Brennerman tonight on the CW on this clip that I saw from Etz where he was talking about how if Kiffin does leave Ole Miss for LSU, he's going to become like his reputation be tarnished as a whole.
Here's where I'm at on this. Why are you negotiating in the middle of a playoff run?
Exactly.
This shouldn't even be a topic of conversation.
I think Jimmy Sexton's doing a lot of it, honestly. that day, from that look in your eyes, from what I'm reading, is you're like Jimmy Sexton's such a turd.
I can't stand Jimmy Sexton, dude. He's a snake, in my opinion. He has always been a snake, and he will continue to be a snake. I can't stand him. And to be honest with you, I mean, there's no way, there's no reason for this dude to be in college football. I'm not saying that he's been a disaster. I know that he's a damn good negotiator. He's like the freaking Wolf of Wall Street of negotiating.
Yep, that's the face of the snake right there.
Huh?
That's the face of a snake right there, Jimmy Sexton.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's just such a freaking scumbag.
He's a snake.
But, hey, I get that he's doing his job, and I'm not going to crap on him for doing his job. He's good at what he does. He's really, really damn good at what he does. Here's the problem, though, is that when you have interferences like this that distract your team and you got to put out a memo at the end of the Egg Bowl next week, you know what that memo is going to say, Jackson? Lane Kiffin's committed to Ole Miss right now. We're not focused on negotiating shit. Well, guess what? These reports have come out. So you can put out a statement that says one thing, but your actions have proven another. When you're taking plane trips to Gainesville and you're taking plane trips to Baton Rouge, what does that tell you? You're obviously not involved. I love Lane. I really do. I think Lane is one of the best head coaches out there, and I respect the hell out of what he does. He would be making a huge mistake if he is to leave Ole Miss. That's my opinion. This has made me so mad I need a drink. 0 sugar Pepsi, though.
There you go.
We don't drink alcohol in here.
I got my water.
I can see that.
Have my
what kind
coffee.
of water you drink?
I got Deer Park tonight. Sometimes I drink Fiji water. Sometimes I drink another brand of water.
Oh, you bougie then. If you like that Fiji water, that's the bougie water. Yeah. It's either that or the Body Armor alkaline body water.
Well, for me, water's water.
Me too. Have you ever had Liquid Death before?
Yeah, I think so.
It's literally just water. They just say it comes from the mountains and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, we talking about water. We talking about freaking stupid-ass agents all right here on the SEC Live. There's nothing better than it, though, bro. Oh, definitely. I found out what I'm getting for Christmas, Jackson. I'm getting a backdrop set up so that nobody's got to see any of this garbage, so I can put all my media credentials and my jerseys, and I can take this printer out of here so that it doesn't look like crap in the back.
We're gonna get to see the new era of Lucas Hill. Nice.
By the way, I want to shout out the FCS for officially putting in Southeastern Louisiana in the FCS playoff. We officially secured one on Thursday. I called my final game. I am very happy for what I have done in Hammond, Louisiana. So very, very impressed with what we've been able to do. Ethan Scott says, if at loses. What?
If who's that exactly? Ethan Scott, can you clarify that in the chat, Ethan? If UT loses to Vandy, fans won't care about this win over a shit Florida team.
Here's where the narrative that Josh Heupel as James Franklin is going to appear. because they're going to look at this season and they're going to say, well, we fell short of a 10-win season. We didn't meet expectations. You know, you consider what you did in the offseason. You made an improvement at quarterback, okay? Your offense looked pretty damn good, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that you need to change defensively. I think at least you got to have an overhaul and clean house defensively. I respect the hell out of Tim Banks. I think he's a hell of a recruiter, but you have gotten burnt up the last 2 to 3 years on the defensive side of the ball. You forced a lot of turnovers last year. That's great. But you've been getting burnt defensively. Part of that is personnel. Part of that is the issue. But when you actually get the right personnel involved, and when you get a proper defensive coordinator, and you get a staff that can develop a defense and make yourself into a top 50 team, and you have the same offense, we're talking about Tennessee being a playoff contender at this point. And he says, doesn't matter, UT wouldn't have beaten the top 25 team. Yes, you would have. I'll be honest with you, you should have beat Alabama. The problem is you shot yourself in the foot too much. You should have beaten Georgia. You shot yourself in the foot too much. Those are 2 top 25 teams that realistically you really could have beaten. I would say go even further and say you should have beaten them. And whether you want to hear it or you'll be in a state of denial, it's where you're at. And that's the truth that you need to hear. You should have beaten Oklahoma if Joey Aguilar hadn't gotten rattled in the first half. Turnovers have killed you, but you have also been unable to get consistency on defense. And this has been Tim Banks' legacy over the last 2 to 3 years. So that's just me. I don't care if you agree or disagree with me, but this is where I am at with where Tennessee is as a program. Do I think Tim Banks did a really good job tonight? Yes, he did. Dominated. Held Florida to under 300 yards. Offense did their job, like usual. Kept them out of the end zone until the fourth quarter. So, very, very good performance from this Tim Banks defense. Very, very impressive display. But you still need to change. Whether it be through positional-wise or whether it be through overall staff overhaul. What do you think, Jackson?
Schematic changes for sure. Just make a couple staff changes, and you should be set for 2026. Yeah, because I'm looking at the schedule for next season. Non-conference schedule's a cinch. I mean, you have to go to Georgia Tech. Your road games are Arkansas, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Vandy. But you got Bama at home and Texas at home. You got Auburn, Kentucky, LSU at home. And something I've noticed since Heupel's become head coach at Tennessee is that they seem to win in Knoxville anytime they play Bama. They always seem to get that done.
Oh, I want you to – I'm going to read a statement that was made by Keith Carter. And listen, if there is anybody that has been vital to Lane Kiffin staying in Ole Miss and what they've done as a whole, it's Keith Carter. Coach Kiffin and I have had many pointed and positive conversations regarding his future at Ole Miss, including meetings today with Chancellor Boyce. While we discuss next step, we know we cannot lose sight of what is most important. Our sixth-ranked team that is poised to finish the regular season in historic fashion. Despite the outside noise, Coach Kiffin is focused on preparing our team for the Egg Bowl, and together we want to ensure that our players and coaches can concentrate fully on next Friday's game. This team is on the cusp of an unprecedented season, and it's imperative that they feel the support of the Ole Miss family in the week ahead. An announcement on Coach Kiffin's future is expected the Saturday following the game. Listen, they're not going to announce that he's leaving at the end of the season. They're not. They're going to wait until after Ole Miss ends their playoff run, whether it be in the first round or whether it be in the national championship. They're going to let this drag out for a while. That's the bottom line. So, you have some very tough decisions to make and some realizations that if you're an Ole Miss fan, you may be very likely be making very soon. So, I don't know, man. Ethan Scott says, good, not great program-wise. Fans want 90s UT, not early 2000s UT. Get rid of Tim Banks and get LSU D coordinator and go be 90s UT. Go pay him a lot of money and maybe you can. We'll see, man. We shall see. Final thoughts as we wrap up our instant reaction here on SEC Live at the Voice of College Football.
Man, I'm just curious to see what Tennessee Vandy's going to be next Saturday, because there's some teams in the world college football are pulling for that. I know Vandy is definitely making sure they can do everything in their power to win this one. But either way, that's like the 2025 edition of Tennessee Vandy is much bigger than like the 2016 edition when Tennessee was fighting for a bid in the Sugar Bowl if they won that game, and Vandy was just making sure they were clinching assurance of bowl eligibility. Because I didn't think we'd see it in our lifetime where Tennessee has a chance to spoil any playoff hopes that Vandy has. But it's going to be exciting either way, and I believe that's going to be on ESPN at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central.
Florida, you better dig in your pockets and you better find the resources that you need to go pay up Lane Kiffin, bro. You had the advantage early, and then all of a sudden this report comes out. Do I believe it? I have no idea. Do I think that this is a very mundane announcement that was made by Keith Carter? Yes. Do I believe that Lane Kiffin is going to leave? Yeah, I don't know. This has been a report that has been going on since 2023 when all this first started, whenever he was in consideration for the Auburn job.
Oh, yeah. I remember 2022 when Auburn opened up and Lane's family was looking at houses to buy in Alabama, but then reports were coming out. Oh, Lane's looking to be at Auburn. Lane's like, nope, never mind. I'm staying at Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I think
he ain't leaving.
I think a lot of this is that 4-year contract rule for state employees in the state of Mississippi. If I'm the school president of each of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, and a few other the Mississippi schools, I would be lobbying my state, each of the state Congress members, each of the state legislature members, call them on the phone every day about, okay, you got to change your law. Because if I'm Ole Miss, I want to do everything in my power to keep Lane Kiffin.
So So you say it's a 4-year law?
A four-year contract where you can't have any more than 4 years in the contract. Where if you're a state employee, whereas if you're a head coach at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or Southern Miss, or an athletic director or a school president, you can't have more than 4 years in the contract.
But he only has just that 4-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it for him then. So he can get out of it now. This is his last year. So
yeah.
So this is great for him then. So this works in his advantage. That's a great point you made, Jackson. So
I mean, that's a lot of it, is that contract rule in the state of Mississippi. That's like the whole reason why you're seeing Lane Kiffin, you're always hearing about, oh, he's going to go this place, he's going that place.
But knowing Lane Kiffin, he's going to downplay it. He's going to troll, and then I believe he has his ways of kind of keeping this tucked away until the very, very final day of the season or whenever the season ends for the Ole Miss Rebels. That's going to wrap it up for us here tonight on our instant reaction, breaking down Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee getting their first win in Ben Hill Griffin in 20 freaking years.
22 years. And it's awesome for the Tennessee Volunteers. And it's the first time, and the first time since the dark ages of the internet, ladies and gentlemen, the dark ages of the internet with no YouTube.
I was conceived in 2003.
Oh my God, my sister was born in that year, and that was May 19th.
I was born in February 9th of 2004. So
holy crap.
The off season where Tennessee's coming off of their last win in BHG until today. Once again, guys, we are brought to you by our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Going over to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code VOCFBSEC. And when you play your first $5 lineup, you'll get $50 instantly in free bets. That's code VOCFBSEC. And when you play that first $5 lineup, you will get $50 instantly in free bets. Must be 21 or older, not available in all states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is 1-800-GAMBLER. What other announcements we got to make, Jackson? Do you got any on your mind?
Just tell everybody, tell your friends, family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Lucas and I are making all right here on SEC at the Voice of College Football. And also tune in for SEC Primetime Live with Tucker Harlan, Andrew Miller, and Josh Mahler. And I can tell you right now, you want to tune in for Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, as Lucas and I are going over the latest news and notes on SEC football. And let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride all right here on SEC at the Voice of College Football. Let's get it to 2,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it to 2,000 subs.
Guys, we will be back on tomorrow night for our SEC Final Whistle, the ultimate recap show of everything that covered in SEC land. Then catch us on Monday night for the rest of our recap. Get into some Week 12 previews and the biggest storylines around the SEC. Don't miss it, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell notification so that you are notified so that you can get notified every time we go live, post a new short, or post a new video here on SEC Live with the Voice of College Football. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed. Don't stress. Y'all have a great rest of the week. We'll see you tomorrow.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click Join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.